Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. And my name's Kenan, his son and the producer of the show. Now, tonight's title, Tabula Rasa, we've got some really great things to say. First, just a quick piece of housekeeping for anyone who might be joining us for the very first time. Be sure to say something out there in the chat, whichever platform you're on. Doesn't matter, just say something. I'll see it and put you in line for a reading. Now, of course, there's no charge the first time. Going forward after that, though, there is a fee of $10 per reading, or you can also pay $100 and cover the entire month, which I feel like is a pretty sweet deal since there are 3 shows per week. It's a bargain. So I've got something to share with you all tonight that I've had up above my mirror for years now that my dad gave me. It's a quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald that I feel like really closely relates to the show. The show's title tonight, specifically this tabula rasa idea, which literally means blank slate. So this quote from F. Scott Fitzgerald, I'll go ahead with. It's pretty quick. So, for what it's worth, it's never too late, or in my case, too early, to be whoever you want to be. There's no time limit. Start whenever you want. There are no rules to this thing. We can make the best or the worst of it. I hope you make the best of it. I hope you see things that startle you. I hope you feel things you've never felt before. I hope you meet people who have a different point of view. I hope you live a life you're proud of. And if you're not, I hope you have the courage to start over again. So that's all I've got for the evening. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Wow, that got me going. Happy Monday evening, everyone. Great blessings to you. And so, I light this incense to offer you flexibility, to surrender the old ways of being, and to surrender the old stories, to make room for all the new ones that are coming in. So great blessings to you. Here's that incense for that. And to talk to you, Kenan came up with the title, and Tabula Rasa, however you want to say it. It's described, or it has been described, as the idea that people begin life as a blank slate into which experiences are mapped, and then that forms the person. But if you've been on this show for any length of time, you know that that's not necessarily the case, because we come into this, and I believe what I've seen, even past life experiences, we bring in. So Aristotle was the one, or the first writer, to talk about the mind as a blank slate. But his theory was really more closely related to the flexibility of the human mind rather than its initial purity when we're born. And so that's a gift as we as humans really have, is flexibility. So you've been with people and they start telling a story. And in your head, you're going, oh my God, I've already heard this story like 10 times. How do I get out of this? Every one of us has stories that we're telling ourselves, and our brain is going, oh my God, here we go again. Because we so desperately sometimes want to relate what we're going through to what happened to us before. And it's really kind of a safety mechanism, because we have to recall how we got out of that situation before, but then we can keep recreating it. So this is blessing you with the flexibility of losing the old stories and simply surrendering the old ways of being. And just even a matter of becoming aware of patterns. So when you have a private reading, a lot of those patterns come up, and then once you're aware of it, you can notice yourself when you start slipping back into it. If you're not aware of it, you can keep slipping back into the old ways of being and the old stories. So that's Tabula Rasa. Now, Kenan is doing this yoga teacher training. I'm very, very tempted to do it myself now because of the things he's talking about and bringing home, and even tonight adding to the show and reading F. Scott Fitzgerald quote. But he got a book. It's called The Breathing Book, and I wanted to read a quote from it in regards to this. It's from Rumi. Your hand opens, closes, opens, closes. If it were always a fist, or always stretched open, you would be paralyzed. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding. The two is beautifully balanced and coordinated as bird wings. Your deepest presence is in every small contracting and expanding. The two is beautifully balanced and coordinated as bird wings. So, brings us to the group card. And if you can, I'll remind you all, if you can take a picture of this, it will be really helpful. Or even if you want to replay the beginning of this, I think it's really, really helpful in the research behind this meaning of this card. It's called the karmic board cleaning. And it is said that there's angels, there's divine beings that do karmic board clearing. But a lot of people have a misconception of what karma is. Something bad happens to somebody and people go, well, that's karma for what they did before. Let's talk about this. A lot of people think that a karmic blockage is punishment for their bad choices or their wrongful behavior. But it's not, because source is always on our side. The divine is always on our side. But it honors our choices. It honors our experiences. And so sometimes these result in karmic blockages, but these blockages were actually created by innocent choices, or the choices that we were limited to or felt that we were limited to at the time that we made them. Okay? Let me give you some examples. So let's say someone's bad treatment of ourselves, we allow that. We continue to let it slide where other people are treating us badly because, we want to see the good in everybody, doggone it. Do I need to repeat that, do you think? I think you got that, okay. Or not letting love in because we were scared of the unknown, or we had a bad experience. We had a unpleasant experience with somebody that said they loved us, but then maybe beat the crap out of us or verbally abused us or whatever it was, but said that was love. And so we may have had a bad experience of love. This is about letting go of that belief system. And that's what the lighting of the incense was tonight, is to bless you all with losing those old stories to be open to the new. And If any of us have had a traumatic experience, I think probably, yeah, every one of us have had a traumatic experience or a painful event, but it keeps coming up. That is the old energy, and it's coming up so because your spirit is calling for it to be released. So if any of us have that, put this on a sticky note. Put it up on your mirror, on your refrigerator, on your computer. Universe, show me now how to comfortably and easily release what no longer serves me to my highest and best. Help me to easily, universe, show me now. Give it to me now. We've talked about this. Universe, give it to me now. How to comfortably and release this past experience. So, all the fears, all the phobias, all the challenges with partners, with other people, with relationships, feeling misunderstood, whatever it is, are being released now. You are ready to move forward. Okay, who's on first?
First is Lindsay tonight.
Hey, Lindsay. Happy Monday night. Thank you for being here. So, I shuffle the cards. Lindsay, this seems to be coming up quite a bit for you. Different decks, same message. Two of Cups. Perfect partnership. Universe, release now any misconceptions, any misjudgments that are affecting this present relationship from the past relationships that I had. Release those now. This is moving forward. This is taking the steps. And yes, it can be a little scary, but this show tonight is about releasing those fears, releasing that energy that's around that, and Tabula Rasa, the flexibility of the human mind, creating something new. Clean slate, blank sheet of paper, starting a new story. Powerful, powerful card, Lindsay. Also, a trip to Vegas would help. Or even like here in Phoenix, they have, I think it's the Hilton, where they have a rotating restaurant on the top of the hotel, and it, I don't know, 30, 40 stories high. It's getting a new, it gives, getting a bigger view of things. Even going for a hike with Austin, or where you can see, have a view. That's what I'm getting here. It's like raising the vibration. It's raising your viewpoint. You know, On Facebook, I posted a couple of days ago. I went back up to Sholo this weekend, as I told you all yesterday, and I took a picture at Mogollon Rim, which is a very high, it's 6,000 feet, and you look out for miles and miles, hundreds of miles of just forest. And a lot of people have this idea that Arizona is all desert, but it's far from that. And so that's the flexibility of the human mind. This is a gift given to you in regards to this relationship. Okay. Yeah, so you've been talking about Vegas for Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It would be really, really fun. Okay, here we go. Who's next?
Marilyn Pitts.
Okay, my dearest Marilyn Pitts. So, so it's 28 degrees tonight. So, Austin, don't hike at night. It's more Austin. It's more Vegas. It's more a nice restaurant on the top of a building. It's just getting the view, and then it's funny because then Marilyn's card is the top of a building. So a lot of times when I do a reading for people privately, Spirit is really good at charades. Like I don't like I'm like, why are you showing me charades? Like I don't understand why you're doing charades, Spirit. Come on. Give me just a moment here. I gotta shut my phone off. I apologize. Okay. So, Marilyn, I really like the Superman story. And the part of the Superman story I really love is when Clark, as a teenager, begins to discover his powers, right? He accidentally burns down or sets buildings on fire. He accidentally throws the tractor across the field because he gets mad at the tractor. So this is putting on your red cape. This is claiming your power, Marilyn. It's not that someone else is better at it than you. It's not that. This is elevating yourself and claiming your gifts. Are you willing to do that in a better way? And anywhere, and this is the tabula rasa for you, anywhere where your gifts were put down, or your personality was put down, or the way you did things was put down in order for that other person to feel better, are you willing to actually flush that old story and then really step into wearing this red cape? So there's a nurse around you. And she's like you knew her when she was quite older. You were much younger. And she's showing, I don't know if the nurses ever wore capes, but it's like from around World War II or after World War II, where I just see a nurse with a cape. It was part of their uniform, part of their dress uniform, part of their part of their. It was part of their when they had to dress up and present themselves at an academy or an awards ceremony. It was like a dress uniform, and it was she's she's very adamant about you stepping into your power. It's another way of her showing she's guiding you, like she's directing you.
She says Ada was her name.
Huh?
Marilyn Pitts says Ada was her name, which is big tall.
Ada was your. She was a big, tall woman. Yes. Ada. Yes. And she's helping you be aware of these powers. This is really amazing. Okay. Fantastic. She's talking about it's time to put on your dress uniform. It's time to stand out. Okay, who's next?
Abby and Marilyn.
Abby and Marilyn. Okay, so Marilyn, my dear. Okay, a couple of things on this one. This is called the Star card. I've mentioned this before, like when you go, I don't, like Ken and I really, if we could possibly avoid it, avoid eating at a fast food restaurant. We try to go to a restaurant that's well established, that has good reviews, because the people that are cooking put their energy into the food. That's why we eat at home quite a bit, because like Kenan makes the best food. It's amazing because when he's cooking, he puts this love into the food. So this has to do like even with you, Abby. When you're doing your creation, whether it's the wreath or whether it's the stained glass, Marilyn, whether it's your writing, it's time to write a book, Marilyn. Get a tape recorder. Tell your mind, give me some flexibility. If you don't like writing, then record it, and then buy one of those softwares that just transform the words into a written page. Anyway. This is you putting your inner, and this is why it's important to charge more, because people aren't just getting the object. They're not just sitting at Unity hearing the words. They're getting the energy. They're getting the transformation from you. Acknowledge that. This is more than just a creation. It has energy behind it that moves and changes energy with and for people. So, Lindsay, your paintings, Marilyn, your quilting, anything that we do, this, thank you, Marilyn, for being here and your higher self pulling this card, because this woman is naked, and so she's putting, it's symbolic of putting like the essence of blessing into what she's doing. Really, really powerful. Okay. Abby. Abby, when you say a blessing, you can pick up a rock or you may have a rock. I highly recommend you holding the rock, blessing the rock, and then placing it on the earth. This is your ability to heal. We've talked about this before. It's like this hand around the earth that I'm seeing, because this is called the Empress, and it's the nurturing creator. You know, you two could easily do like a podcast, do a show like this. Just even record yourselves, just make a YouTube channel or a Facebook. Laurel, is Laurel on tonight?
Not yet.
Okay. So, you know how Laurel posts on Facebook, "Good morning, everybody." It's like that. It doesn't have to be even a paragraph long. It could just be 1 or 2 sentences. So when you're like even doing a video of you making a wreath, or Marilyn doing a video on making the stained glass. It's not about, yes, it's about teaching people how to do this, but it's also spreading that energy, spreading that divinity, for people to be able to see you and hear you and watch you, but they're actually watching the energy, and the energy is that's what's transforming for so many people. Okay.
Austin can go next. If you're ready.
Austin, okay. So universe, so Lindsay, I'm going to go back to you a minute. Universe, show me now how to gain stillness in my hands. Okay, and then Austin. So Austin, I know it's 28 degrees, so don't go out tonight and do this, but tomorrow, go find a haystack, take your shoes off, roll up your pants, lean against a haystack, put a straw in your mouth, and chill. Some of the greatest teachers on this planet are dogs, Austin. You dog. I love this. Dogs. Now, Abby and Marilyn, I know you'll back me up on this one. They spend a lot of the day laying around. But you open a fridge, you go to the treat jar, you get the leash, and they're like, yes, go, we're going to go. And they're ready. They have the energy. They just go. So Austin, this is having the flexibility that when you're resting, be in the rest. And know that when the time comes and you hear a piece of cheese being unwrapped, boom, you're going to be there. You're going to just be there. Now, I mean that metaphorically. I don't even know if you like cheese. But I'm talking about when the opportunity comes, you will be absolutely present. You will know what to say. You will say the right thing at the right time. It's going to be great. But enjoy the rest. And it's also, it's enjoying the rest. enjoying the rest of your life, enjoying the rest of what's ahead, enjoying it. And anywhere where you've been taught to worry, can you let go of that? Because worry is a complete waste of spiritual energy. Okay, Lindsay, you can borrow your dog. Awesome.
Jared and Kat are next.
Jared and Kat, all right. I love you guys. Thank you all so much for being here. It's really, really incredible. Camera, lights, action. Jared. Glorious win. So this is what I see here is you on stage. I see the lights. I see the microphone. I see the performance. But again, as I talked about it with Lindsay and Abby and Marilyn Pitts, looking at what your performance, your singing, and if Laurel's on yet, I'm talking to you, Laurel, too. What your singing does and what it's actually doing, and it gets the focus off of you and back on the audience, right? They're there to be transformed. And you have the ability to do that. And then your performance, before you go on stage or before you practice, say, okay song, okay music, okay body, how would you like this to be? And see how that flows with you. But this is like an award. It's like an acknowledgement of the hard work you've done. And someone was saying on Facebook, that they know all the hard, it's from a woman I've known years ago. She goes, she knows all the hard work I put into writing the book and writing the script. But I look back on it and I go, no, it wasn't hard. It really wasn't hard. And so even with this singing, or even with you, Kat, doing what it is that you really love doing, it comes naturally, it comes easy, right? And it has meaning. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad, Austin, you're cleaning the hot tub. That's important. Okay.
So you had Jared and Kat.
Yeah, I got Kat. All right, I got Kat next. Okay, so Kat, anywhere where somebody has done it better, anywhere where there's a belief that you can't do it as good as someone else, or that you cannot do it differently, or anywhere where somebody really self-doubts themselves and is trying to lay that on you, this isn't about sharing a cookie. You don't take half of the self-doubt. You don't take half of the cookie. You don't, well, you can. This, it's your experience, but this is letting go. Things the Dead Fear, my book, it's about they fear letting go. And if I let go, oh my God, how is that going to be? How are we going to survive? And then you're sending prayers out to the universe, and it creates this yuck. It creates the survival. It creates the density. It creates the heaviness. Kat, you are a force to be reckoned with. Step into it. You've got way too many angels, way too much blessing, you just have aangels and guides and ancestors rooting for you. And sometimes you just have to go rah, rah, ree, kick him in the knee. You know, rah, rah, ras, kick him in the other knee. Do you know what I mean? It's like not being around the naysayers, not even listening to them, not allowing them into your field. All right, here we go. Next.
Awesome. It's a new person, Roxanne Skinner, I imagine.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Docs. Yeah. Hey, Roxanne. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Welcome. Everybody welcome Roxanne. We had a great 50th birthday for Doc. It was a lot of fun. It was really nice. I was really glad I got to go. So, Roxanne, this is a modern card of the Tower card. And it is a picture of New York. It is a picture of the two towers and the lights that represented them after the two towers fell. But it created an entire new system. The Tower card comes up when there's like a transition. Letting go completely. And being free of, it's okay to help someone out of the goodness of your heart, but there's a difference between helping someone and then doing it for them. Sometimes people have to hit rock bottom in order to get the lesson. And it can be painful to watch, but it's necessary. And what you do in that case is send them strength, send them love, send them blessings, and but energetically stay out of it. Because the Tower card comes up before there's big changes for the better. A better way of doing things, a new way of looking at things. This is surrendering your old ways of being, which can be difficult. It can feel like a tower collapsing down, or surrendering the old stories that no longer serve you. And so your stories will be changing, but they're changing for the good and for the better, because a building has to be torn down in order to create something new. And that's what's happening. Focus on what's being built, what is coming new into your life. Okay. And
John Quedlinger.
hey, John. Other than John Men's Warehouse having tuxedos on sale, this is called peaceful diplomacy. Other than the obvious of what this means, we all have people in our lives that are stuck because they feel like it takes too much energy to move into a new place or a new way of being. But in actuality, they're using more energy to stay stuck than the energy of release and moving to a new place or a new way of thinking or a new way of being. So since I've known you all these years and all the experiences we've shared and I've shared with you, So in my book, one of my clients, her name was Carol. Maybe it still is. She was the one that introduced me to my teacher and the one I wrote the book about. But Carol, that I write about in the book, she was very, very religious. And she had a very bad marriage. And so she had been taught in an inflexible, unflexible, authoritarian, patriarchal, draconian way. She'd been taught this, that you cannot divorce. Wrong, bad, no matter what the husband did to you, you could not divorce. So, the only way out for her was death. And she got a very virulent type of cancer, extremely rare, like 1 in a million. And nobody really knew how sick she was. But she was diagnosed with this, and I went to see her. And when I went to give her a hug, we talked and we laughed. I went to give her a hug, and I had this sensation that I was hugging a hologram. Like, it was the oddest sensation. It was like she wasn't. I was like, what is this? And for her, she was moving into a better situation. And Buddhism, Hinduism, and even some religions teach that as we are passing this world, as we start passing this world, we create another body. The energy leaves this body to then be transformed into this new body. And that is absolutely what I believe that she was doing, because 3 hours after I left, she passed. Now this is a but I made it okay. I was like a diplomat where there was no judgment. I could have said, "Oh, Carol, that way of thinking, that religion is archaic, it's draconian, it's patriarchal," which would have made the transition even harder. This is the diplomacy to allow people to be who they are for where they're at. It's like I was talking earlier, those so-called bad decisions, those so-called experiences that we can judge ourselves with, it's what we knew at the time. So were they really bad? Not really. And sometimes the consequences teach us, and we get the learning. What's important with this earth, John, is that we get the learning. We get the ahas. And so one of your outstanding attributes is to make it okay for people. Or because then it takes away the resistance of the fear of them being judged. Okay, who's next?
Teresa is last, actually, tonight.
Teresa,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. Whatever you're wanting to move ahead with, do it. This is, Teresa, if you can, take a picture of this. Confident ambition. In any way, shape, or form that any of us have any judgment on ambition, can we let go of that? Anything that we've been taught about ambition being wrong or bad or are we willing to release that and absolutely step into this power? You can call it ambition, but you can also call it power. The source wants the source. That's why we're here, is to be in our highest power. If some people of a lower vibration view it as ambition or judge it as ambition, as a judgment, whatever, they're a lower vibration. They're not there yet. And we don't need to bring them up to where we're at. Let them be where they're at, a lower vibration. They'll either get it now or they'll get it later. It may take 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 lifetimes. Oh well. Let people go through 4th grade as many times as they need. This is you stepping into your ambition. Like, free of apology. Do it. Okay. Is that everybody?
I think so.
Okay. You want a card, Kenan?
You want to pull a card for Mason?
Yep. Oh, Mason? Is Mason here?
Probably.
Okay, I'll pull a card for Mason. Hey, Mason. We got to get together. I got to hear some of your great new stories. So, if you smell something bad, Mason, you don't got to stay there. You can move away from the bad smell, right? If there's energy that's not really serving you, like maybe, I don't know, kids at school, you don't have to hang around them. Because you're really courageous and you're really strong, but you also have a really good heart and you can be kind. But you can also tell people the way it is. And don't worry about it if they don't listen to you, because maybe they're not ready to hear it. Maybe they can't hear it. Maybe they don't understand it. That's okay. You've said your piece, and that's the important thing. Okay.
Teresa says he was just telling her about this kid that was calling people poop.
Yeah. Okay. So Teresa, you were just telling him about this kid at school calling people poop. Okay, perfect. That's withstanding the adversity. It's like, the kid does not understand. But it doesn't mean one day he won't understand. But right now, he just doesn't get it. It's okay. There's other kids out there that you can play with and be around that don't call people poop. Okay? All right. Kenan, you want a card?
Why not?
Okay. I'm going to pull a card for Kenan. He's on the show. Now, it's not about going to buy a motorcycle, but this is fearless action, just stepping into it. And I wish you could hear some of the stories, you guys, from his amazing teacher training in yoga and just stepping into teaching. And it's just, this is continue, Kenan, to take the fearless action. Again, this is the force of the universe, like this powerful motorcycle or a powerful car, moving you along, moving you forward, moving you ahead to places you as of yet cannot even dream of. Good card. Great card. All right, everyone. I love you all. We'll do this again Wednesday night. And if you'd like to book a full reading, you know my number. You can instant message me. And love you all. Have a great night.